Hello guys, this is Expiredmilk here, and we're here to start up a new BAGM mode series. And the reason I'm starting up a new one and kind of ending our Flourish GM mode is because, I wasn't uploading in that series, so I kind of want to start out fresh. So right now we're going to go to the team and set up the settings for our GM mode. So we're going to do an 8-year GM mode just to have, just to see our older players retire, kind of see our younger players get better, things like that. Trade difficulty hard. Waivers are on. I find there aren't that much dumb waiver claims in this game. It's a lot better than NHL14. Let's have each team start out fresh with no authentic cap penalties. Gem mode firing off, because I want to stay with the team I'm choosing forever, you could say. Assistant coach at lines is off. And I think that's good. So let's get on to the team. Not the Flyers. It's kind of an old team. Not the Anaheim Ducks. We're gonna scroll through and I'll get to the team. No, 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 no. Yes, we are going to do the Vancouver Canucks, an old team that desperately needs to win the cup before their old players retire. I think that this is a team that I can help win the cup for their first cup in the franchise history. And this will be an exciting take for the Vancouver Canucks. I'm going to see what I can do to help the team win the cup. I think after we win the cup in maybe years 1 or 2, if we do, or when we do, I think we're going to rebuild from there. But that's only if we win it. Say in our 3rd year, we start doing terrible and we still have the Sedins on our team, then I think that we may just rebuild there, but we're going to cross that road when we meet it. So basically in this episode, we're just going to check out the roster, see what we need, and edit our trading block. Probably no simulation. Just so you guys can can kind of give your thoughts and views on what we should do for episode 2. That's why I'm not going to do any simulation this episode. So let's check our center situation. Sedin's definitely our first line center, a very good one. Same with Kessler, both I think would be considered good first line centers. So it's very good as Kessler for our second line center. Richardson's kind of weak for that third line center. I would kind of like someone better. I don't like that 3.5 star defensive category. So I think we may need to find a new third line center. Schrader, he doesn't have good enough potential to really grow that much, so he's probably a trading asset. Let's go on to our left wingers. I think this is pretty good. Daniel Sedin with Henrik Sedin's a good mix. I think that's very good. Chris Higgins, I think he's just serviceable for that second line. He just meets the criteria. In my opinion, you have to be an 83 overall or higher to go on the second line. But he does have that good defensive category, which can help that second line. And his shooting, I actually like those stats down there. Nothing lower than an 84. And his puck skills are all 84. I think he's going to be a good second line left winger. David Booth, let's check him for our third line. I don't like that defensive category. It's decent, but 3.5 stars isn't that good, and the stats I see there aren't that good. So we're gonna think of what we should do with David Booth. Tom Sestito, Sestito. I think he can be a good fourth liner maybe. Now let's check our right wingers. Alexander Burrows, this is a big question. Should we play him on the first line with Henrik and Daniel Sedin, or should we kind of trade him for a better right winger? That's my question. I like that defensive category is very good. and his offensive categories aren't bad either. So he wouldn't be terrible for that first line right wing spot. Yannick Hansen, although he's not very good, he's a grinder, so I won't put him on that second line. He would definitely be a great third line right winger though. Zach Cassian, although I wouldn't think he's ideal for that second line right wing position, I think just because of that green star, just because of those four green stars, I think we should just play him there. I think it would be better for the team because he can grow next season if he's playing on the second line. So I think we'll probably play him on the second line. And Dale Weiss, I think, would be a good fourth line right winger. Let's see our defensive situation. Our defensemen are kind of weak. Kevin BX is a good top four. Same with Edler, Garrison. They're all good top fours. But we don't have the top two defensemen. But Chris Tanev's not top four either. So we may be searching for another defenseman to play on our team. Maybe a younger defenseman who can get up to a top two next year, possibly. That wouldn't be a bad idea. Our goaltenders, I think Luongo's good enough to be our starting goaltender, 86 overall. And I think Eddie Lack, just because of that potential, I think he should play as our backup. Because I do think he grows in the next season for most GM modes I've done just by myself. So now we're just going to check out our prospects. We have pretty good prospects, I would say. Hunter Schrenkrook, Bo Horvat, Brian Gauntz, Nicholas Jensen, Jordan Subban. So we're going to need to give a contract to. I think we have some good offensive prospects. We may be lacking in that defensive prospect category, but we can possibly pick up a cheap trade value prospect defenseman. So basically we're just going to sign our prospects now. We don't really have a goaltender prospect, so we may want to look into that as well. It's not necessary because we do have Eddie Lack, so just an idea, maybe for younger prospect. So now we're going to do a trading block. Not trade players, or trading block. What do we want? I think I want a good third line center, so let's check for that. Player role, third line checking forward. I want one between 17 to 40. Okay, potential doesn't really matter. I do want a good defensive category though, at least 4 stars. We have some decent people to see. Tom Paille wouldn't be a bad idea. He has a decent offensive category, which you don't really need for a third line center, but it could be something extra. But I do like that defensive category, and he's fairly young at 26 years old. We're also gonna check the contract, and he is in the East, so we won't really have to deal with the players that we trade to them. Same with Zach Smith, he's a pretty good player. I think most of these players will be good, but maybe we could search for someone who's kind of younger, maybe around 24, 23 years old, like Sean Mathias. He wouldn't be bad actually. But let's just keep on checking. Halishuk, I think, can actually get to an 83 overall, so he wouldn't be a bad pickup. But he's a right winger. But we could definitely maybe include David Booth in a trade for Halishuk. That wouldn't be a bad idea. Jamie McGinn would actually be a good player to trade Booth for as well. Michael Frolik would be pretty good to trade. Then let's just check. So third line centers. David Desharnais, he has probably the best offensive category out of the two other centers that we've seen. 3 other centers. And he does have a good defensive category, so I think he's our best bet right now. Buttercup. Nah, I wouldn't really want him. Josh Bailey's. I think Sabatka is a good face-off rating, yeah. Sabatka wouldn't be a bad pickup, just he is in the West and he's on the St. Louis Blues, kind of a team that we're kind of competing for in our division. And I don't really want to trade too much for the player I'm looking for, so I think Gagliardi and up in the list is basically who we're going to consider in the trade. Lato Andres is actually a free agent. He wouldn't be bad. So now, what should we check next? I think, oh yeah, we should check that defenseman that we want. Top 4. I think 17 to 25 would be a good age to search for. We have some decent defensemen to look at. Maybe some of these defensemen are kind of, up there in trade value, so we can maybe search a little bit older defensemen. These defensemen all wouldn't be that bad to go for. Just we're gonna have to check their contract and what kind of defenseman they are. I like Cody Franzen. I think that's a good contract for him, and he's a pretty good defenseman. I think I would like an offensive defenseman or two-way defenseman. Carl Gunnarsson. No, I wouldn't want him. No. Maybe Mark. Nah, that's kind of a pretty pricey contract for 5 years, 3.825. Sabisa wouldn't be bad either. So basically, that's our options over there. Should we check anything else? I think just get that really good defensive prospect. Kind of between 17 to 20. Like, not like the one who's NHL already, just the one who can get really good. If there is anyone. We have some options here. Not bad options, but I'm not sure if we should really go for any of these defensemen right now. I think that's kind of our last priority to get. Because remember, we are a team that wants to win the cup within the first 3 years. Players on the block. Let's put David Booth on there. Anyone else? Let's see Burrows. Just maybe a team would want to trade for him. No one else really. Oh yeah, we still have to check that right winger. Forward. First line. I don't care how old the player that the first line forward that we want to play with the Sedins is. Just as long as we can find that forward. It doesn't really matter. Potential doesn't matter. I would like a good shooting category though. Perhaps 4 stars. Oh wow. We're not gonna get anyone up here. That's for sure. I'm not sure if we can trade for anyone here either. Maybe lower down the shooting category. We still have the same guys. We could still trade for them if we were willing to trade up the assets. So this is basically our trading block, and yeah. So basically, I think that's it for this episode. Just hold on, before we do that, let's just send down some people. John Subban. Yeah, and that's it. So thank you guys for watching. Remember, leave a like if you enjoy, and subscribe if you haven't already.